And Larry Walker joins me. Look at this guy. He's just all. You could probably still play a game or two. Let's throw that. I was going to say helmet on you. Yeah, we should do radio. They're going to tape it in the background, but first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
I don't want to say welcome home because technically this is home for you.
This is home. It always will be.
Yeah, I guess so. So take me through this. You know, we bring you back out. I see Montreal Expo jerseys. I've seen a few Rockies jerseys already. To what are we talking? 10 years removed from the game? 10, 11, and they still resonate. There's something about you.
8. Don't put me that old.
Not yet,
I'm not 50 yet.
So what is it like when you walk into a venue and all of a sudden you see all these people? They still got that nostalgia. They still remember you like you were just playing yesterday.
You know what? It's the whole thing from the beginning to the end is a complete thrill. You know, and to come back and it's been so long since I've been to Nat Bailey. It's good to be back here and see that. And I'm always a fan of the people coming out and that are interested. It's fun.
You're the last of the big three. We've had Tim Raines, we've had Andre Dawson, and now we bring you out to the ballpark. Can you take me back through those days in Montreal when you looked around the clubhouse and said, wow, we got some talent here?
Yeah, I remember those. I remember in spring training just walking out beyond the right field fence, just dying to get in there with the big guys, you know, as a minor league little punk that didn't think I had the ability to do anything at the major league level. So when you first walk in that clubhouse and you see the names on the lockers, the Raines, the Dawson, the Carters, and you know, it's kind of, you know, makes you take a double look around and wonder what the heck I'm doing here.
Who was the player that took you under his wing? The guy at the major league level that helped you along?
Probably Tim Wallach. You know,
good player.
Yeah, and now he's the third base coach with the Dodgers. So, but he was one of my favorite teammates and a guy that I would always try to emulate.
When you moved to Colorado, a lot of people said, boy, that's a ballpark and an altitude that would suit your game perfectly, and it did statistically. What did you take away from those years? It was almost a decade there.
Yeah, it was almost 10 years. We, you know, I take away the 95 season when we made it to the playoffs. You know, really, you're in this game for one reason, that's to win. You know, all the other stuff, the numbers that you put up and everything doesn't really matter. It's the 25 guys battling 25 other guys trying to win a ball game, and that's what it comes down to.
You finally go to St. Louis. I mean, that was a fantastic team in the making, and you look back at that 2 or 3 years that you spent with them. It's a beautiful place to play. Is St. Louis one of the best places in Major League Baseball to set up shop? It
is. There's some organizations that, you know, the Cubs probably won, the Dodgers, Yankees that have followings that are just incredible. And, you know, going out on the road as a Cardinal, you know, the team hotels were always packed with people. You couldn't get to your room. So it was, you know, they were everywhere, and it was a really neat place to play. They know their baseball in St. Louis.
Did you miss the game when it finally came to an end? Because you seemed like a guy that would go through a brick wall to get to a baseball. When it all came, did you have that moment when it finally came to an end where you thought, wow, I wish I could do this forever?
Yeah, I was content with it, really. The first year was a little tough, I guess, but after that, I knew I couldn't do it. You know, I didn't feel I could play the heights that I had myself put to, and if I couldn't play to meet those standards, and I wasn't going to bother.
What part of your game do you think you appreciated maybe more than fans? I mean, everybody called you the five-tool player, that one guy that had a little bit of everything. What did you take the most pride in when it came to your game?
Oh, boy, probably base running and defense. You know, the hitting came kind of natural, but the base running I worked on hard. Defense worked on hard. A lot of instructional leagues to learn the position. You know, as a kid, I didn't play the outfield, so I really had to learn it in the minor leagues, and that was where all the work went into.
Larry Walker joining us here for a couple of minutes on the Team 1040, part of our Superstar series here. I also want to talk about Canada's National Baseball program, because I was complimenting you this morning when I did the morning show that you've kept your hands in that program, and they need the Larry Walkers of the world to still be involved. We'll get to the eyes of Satan in a moment, but let's talk a little bit about that program right now. Where do you see it? Because to me, I see 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Sometimes they'll go to the Pan Americans and they'll win a gold medal, and then they'll go to the WBC and they'll get shut out.
Well, you know what? It's a tough thing, especially WBC. You're taking, you know, hopefully mostly major league ball players and sticking them. They got 2 or 3 days to work together to try and figure out how to do it. Your pitching is limited to how many pitches a starter could use, and pitchings are, you know, our weakness, where we don't have the depth as we do offensively and with position players. So it's a hard task to meet up to the standards of what the U.S. have, Cuba, Dominican, Puerto Rico, these guys that play year round and have thousands of players to choose from. Our pool is a smaller handful, and not quite as much talent as some of them. So, it's not fair in some eyes, but I think we're still, we're number 7 ranked team, I believe, in the world still. So we're still doing pretty darn good.
Do you look at that program and say, you know what, the guys that have had some success at the major league level, they need to do what you're doing and at least keep their hands in it, just so that the bloodline goes on through generations?
You know what? As a Canadian, I think all the Canadians will keep their hands in it in some way or shape or form, and I think that's just in our blood. You know, we're not going to let it go and just walk away. I don't stay into the game too much as far as with the professional. I'm being asked to do some things, but I don't want to get in that aspect. Just doing stuff for Team Canada is all I need right now.
Why? Why wouldn't you want to do a little more at the pro level?
Well, I still have an 11 and 13-year-old at home, so I don't want them to miss out on Dad. They've missed out enough on Dad already. So, and if you coach, you're even gone more than a player. So I'm happy staying with them.
Do they know who their dad is?
No, not necessarily.
Are you cool with that?
I'm perfect with that. That's the way I like it. They ask questions about it, and then, what do you mean you're going to the ballpark to throw out the first pitch? I go, you'll know one day. So I leave it at that.
Are they starting to get to the point now where they're starting to poke and prod? Because I mean, when they're younger, they're just happy that their dad's around. But are they starting to put two and two together?
Well, they know. You know, I come home with bobbleheads. You know, I just in Denver, and they had a bobblehead day for me in Colorado. So I threw out the first pitch there, and they sent me 250 bobbleheads, and the kids see all these and wondering what the heck they are. You know, they look at them and start laughing and bobbling my head up and down. You know. So they have a good time with it, but they don't really know. I don't need them to know all that stuff.
Do they
They'll figure it out.
Are they in sports at all?
Soccer and gymnastics, yeah.
Soccer dad, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd have that tag hanging over you?
I got 3 girls, so I guess I had no choice, right?
Absolutely. Hey, just before I let you go, I just want to really quickly refresh our listeners that are just joining us. You're here for tonight. What does it mean for you to come back to Vancouver specifically? I mean, you're a BC guy. You come out to Nat Bailey Stadium. This park's been here for 60 years. You get to come back and see it revitalized, rejuvenated. What does it mean to see that baseball's still thriving in your home community?
Well, I love it, you know, and the success that they've had here as an organization is good. I know years back that there was talk that the team would be leaving, but I know some people jumped in and saved the team, and what do you play, 38 home games, and this is the 15th sellout already. So I think for an lower A-ball affiliate, that's outstanding. So you applaud the people of Vancouver for coming out and supporting their team.
Okay, well, Larry, congratulations on I'm probably the 8 millionth person to say congratulations on great career, but more than anything, just thanks for staying in the game. As a Canadian guy that's appreciated Team Canada in the amateur ranks, we need you around. So thanks for being a part of that and sticking in the game.
You bet.